Alright, what's up guys? Today I'm giving you my review on the Order 1886. Now, after all these open world games, we are back with a traditional third-person shooter, a linear game. So yeah, I don't really have anything special to say in this intro, so let's start right away with the story. In the Order 1886, we are following some members of the Round Table. You know, the Knights of the Round Table. Yeah, we're following some of them in the fights against the Lycans or half-breed, like they call in the game, as well as the resistance in the city of London, obviously in 1886. So yeah, that's it. That's basically all you need to know about the story, because obviously I don't want to give you too many details about that, but you can guess things are going to change the order throughout the story. Overall, the story is pretty good. I'll say it's good enough, but I feel like it could have been way better if they decided, or the decision to present the game the way they did was different, especially at the beginning. Let me explain what I mean here. Let's say the story is divided into 10 parts, alright? Instead of going normally like part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc., what they did here is you're starting with part 5. Like at the beginning of the game, you see part 5, and then you go back to part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 again, 6, 7, up to 10. The problem that I have with this is that since you already saw part 5 at the beginning, when you're playing the game and let's say you're getting to part 3 or 4, you're already kind of guessing what's going to happen next because you saw part 5 at the beginning. And there is no more the surprise element to it, So that's why I feel like the way they did it was not the right way. But still, this story is interesting, but it's not extraordinary. For the characters, even though you don't have enough info about their background and about some of the relationship between some of them, they were still alright, I would say. You had some really likable and good characters like Galahad, Lafayette, Rodney, or Lakshmi if you want. You had some whatever characters like Mallory, and I would say also some annoying characters like Isabeau or the Chancellor. But I think in the next games, which is probably going to happen, saying the ending of this game, they're going to be a lot more interesting because of what happened in this game. And since we are talking about characters, let me switch here to the soundtrack and the voice acting.
Sentinel 5, this is Galahad. Do you copy?
Sir Galahad, this is Sentinel 5. On standby.
Sentinel 5, requesting an immediate sonar payload drop.
Confirming Galton payload deployment. Requesting visual beacon for target location.
Damn it. Who has a transmitter?
Here, monsieur. Use my communicator.
Well, the lad's useful after all.
Locking on beacon. Releasing anchor. Galton deployment in 5, 4, 3, 2,
Incoming! All devices off!
1.
That's our window. Go!
The voice acting in this game is on point. They did exactly what I want developers to do in games, which is give the proper accent for characters that are from a specific country. In this case, characters that were from England, had a British accent. Characters that were from France, in this case Lafayette, had a French accent, and other characters from a specific country had a different accent. I loved it. Not only that, the game was extremely well directed. You could like feel it Basically, it was like if you're watching a movie sometimes, which is really good. But I'll come back to it in the gameplay part in this review. Now, for the soundtrack, didn't really notice any soundtrack that clicked for me, but overall it was still pretty good. I think it's safe to say that The Order 1886 is the best looking game on console. Not only on PS4 people, but on console. Like, one thing that really impressed me in this game is that everything blends well together. In other games, you're gonna see that when you look at some characters and you look at the environment around them, you're gonna see a slight difference between the two. But in this game, everything blends well together. Absolutely everything. Going from the character models to the facial expressions, the animations, oh god, the lighting, the texturing, the overall environment with tons of details everywhere you go. Oh man, it is so realistic, absolutely incredible. You cannot make the difference when you're playing the game and when you have cutscenes. You cannot. Everything is in real time, and people, that tells you how great this game is visually. I have nothing else to say. Really nothing else. It is amazing. Amazing, my friends. Now, I always say this in my reviews, the most important part in a game is the gameplay. And even though this game has astonishing visuals, you can get used to it. And when you get used to it, the gameplay is what is left. So now, let's talk about it.
Knight, over here. On my count of 3. 1, 2.
Look out! Lock the door! Don't let them out!
This game is like an interactive movie. It actually reminded me games like Beyond Two Souls. Now, the difference with that game is that in The Order 1886, you actually do have some legit gameplay phases where you move where you want to move and you kill people you want to kill. Even though it's still really linear, those phases are in the game. Now, you can see that the developers really put a lot of time into the presentation. Like I said, the game is like an interactive movie and you have quite some numbers of QuickTime events. The problem with that is some of them are kind of unnecessary. For example, in this next QuickTime event, how many times do we have to press a button? Watch carefully.
Portsmouth, and then it's an uneventful few days to the Americas.
Smoke grenade. On your mark. 3, 2,
Can't even
1.
tell we're airborne.
We seize the ship in the name of liberty.
If you say 3 times, you are wrong because it is actually the double. 6 times. You have to press 3 buttons before he opens the door.
On your mark. 3,
Can't even tell we're airborne when I'm back in the hold.
1.
Yeah.
And yes, I know it's technically 2 buttons, but you get what I'm saying. I found it really unnecessary because they could have just done a regular cinematic out of this, right? Without you having to press anything in this. They could have just done that. Now, like I said, this game is like an interactive movie. It's like if you're watching a movie. And it is really well directed. I don't have any problem with devs trying to do that with your game, as long, and I repeat, as long as you have some strong gameplay phases and gameplay mechanics. And for this game, the Order 1886, it is not the case. In terms of gameplay mechanics, this game has nothing that really separates it from other third-person shooter. Maybe the cover system, because in this game it's kind of realistic. When you're covered in the Order 1886, you can't see much. I will actually say you don't see anything, because you have to look, and then when you're going to look, you're going to be able to get hit. You know, they did it kind of realistic, school. Apart from that, you also have the slowdown time, and then you kill people easily, like in Red Dead. But I'm telling you, people, apart from that, everything else is extremely basic. That's something that we see in every single third-person shooter. Now, I'm not saying those shooting mechanics are bad. You know, it's still fun. It's still fun to shoot people. But what I'm saying is, it is nothing that we haven't seen before. It is too basic, too standard. The worst part about this is that you can't do much. You don't have any sort of, upgrades for your weapons. You can't interact with your teammates, you can't give them orders. And some gameplay phases, like the stealth phases in this game, they are kind of forced on you, and you can feel it. Remember what I said, the devs really emphasize on the cinematographic aspect of the game, and you can see it. You have chapters that are cinematics. Like, what the hell? The content in this game is extremely poor. You only have 3 levels of difficulty: easy, normal, and hard. When you beat the game, you do not unlock anything extra. No challenge mode, no co-op mode. This was the perfect setting to have a co-op in this game, but you don't have that. No multiplayer mode, nothing, absolutely nothing when you beat the game. And for a third-person shooter, it is extremely bad. Nowadays, you can't do games like this. You just can't. This is extremely basic, like I said, for the gameplay, but also for the content. So to conclude, I will say the Order 1886 is a game that has astonishing graphics, a good story, but in the gameplay department, it has nothing, and absolutely nothing special if you compare it to other third-person shooter. This game is extremely generic and basic, and it has absolutely no replayability and extra content. And for all these reasons, I give this game a score of 14 out of 20. So yeah, this was my review on the Order 1886. Thanks for watching. Check out my previous reviews. Everything is in the description. And I will see you on the next one. Alright? God bless you, and bye bye.